So my name is Jack Sutorious. I am trained as an English and history teacher, but I teach reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary, rhetorical, literary, poetic analysis, US history, European history, world history, government, geography, algebra, geometry, Spanish, psychology, SAT, ACT, AP exams, and college essays. Now, I'm trained in secondary education, so I primarily focus on the high school level, but I have taught and mentored students of all ages: kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, undergraduate, and I also have experience teaching ESL abroad.
One might say jack of all trades.
That's
No
very
plans.
kind of you to say. Thank you.
All right. Well, of course, now you have a broad history and kind of the scoping when it comes to subjects and grade levels. But generally speaking, can you explain your teaching methodology?
Absolutely. In my opinion, education should be engaging and presented in a way that makes its importance self-evident. As we all know, learning and growth happen both inside and outside the classroom, and being a student is just one dimension of a young person's identity. So we have to invest in them not just as students, but their whole selves. To me, it's more important to understand the reasons behind something and provide that context in order for dialogue and growth to happen organically.
All right, Jack. So then moving on to my next question.
Mhm.
So because you're the jack of all trades and you have many subjects and many grade levels that you can potentially teach, let's
Mm.
start out more so, I guess, with like elementary school, just to kind of sum it up. Walk me through how you kind of tailor your teaching more so for elementary school as opposed to maybe, middle school slash high school.
So, having experienced every grade level, I fully believe in age appropriate differentiation using
Hmm.
tools like scaffolding to make instruction relevant, appropriate, accessible, intuitive, and meaningful for each age level.
See, so that scaffolding concept,
Mhm.
explain to me that a little bit more. Is that more so about the imagery that you're using throughout the tutoring session, or go into that a little bit deeper?
Sure. So scaffolding relates to our mental schemas in our brains that control how we regulate information and,
Okay.
to what level we're comfortable learning and processing.
I see. So basically, the example of this would be if we're teaching the why through like a real life scenario, the real life
Mhm.
scenario for an elementary school kid is going to be tailored to specifically maybe kind of how they see the world at that time and not necessarily at a more higher level than that. I have a clear idea with the elementary school kids and kind of how the process is going to work. How about more so for like middle school or high schoolers?
Right. So middle school students have that unique opportunity to really start creating their own voice, their own authentic, original, organic voice. But I believe in at least starting to treat middle school students like the pre adolescent adults that they will eventually become, so that they feel respected and that they feel motivated to care because they're not being condescended to, they're being treated like the adults that they want to be treated as. And then for high school students, that's where I really shine because that's where you can have these really high level, in depth, complex, nuanced discussions about very advanced subjects and concepts, and where they can really start to aspire to that level of adult complexity and maturity because they know that their entry into the real world is fast approaching.
This is most likely who's watching this a parent. Potentially, maybe if it's a high schooler, it could be the high school kid themselves that's interested in tutoring, but most likely the parents speaking to them now, they're like, okay, Jack, I really like kind of what you just said there. I think this might be something that's good for my kid. And now I'm interested, of course, in the consultation. Can you just walk us through? They're signing up for a free consultation. There'll be a form and a calendar reservation. I think they understand that that's clear. But during the actual consultation, can you walk us through kind of what it would look like for them?
Right. So as I've mentioned, I believe in care of the whole person. So I want to get to know my students almost on a molecular level. I want to know not just their hobbies and interests and passions and other, activities and extracurriculars. I want to know how their mind works, how they interpret others, how they process language. So that initial consultation is going to be important to get to know the student on that very deep level.
So probably like the first half or a little bit longer than that of the consultation. First, it's more of like an icebreaker. Hey, we're trying to get to know each other, build a little bit of relationship. There'll be kind of a series of questions back and forth. Second, after that, I think what you just said there as well, there's going to be not necessarily a test, but some sort of like just gathering of, hey, where are you currently at in this subject that you're interested in? what do you feel like you're struggling with? What is your teacher saying that you don't like, right? Type of stuff, and just kind of going through there. Is that correct?
So yeah, just getting a sense of where they are and where they want to be and how I can help them get there.